Happy holidays!
Happy holidays to all our
viewers. And of course, I am, yes, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, except I used my red nose for our clown show that we had early on.
Yeah.
So it just looked too much like a Rudolph the Clown.
Right.
But my broken antlers seemed to fit. And where's your broken halo?
Well, it's kind of tilted to the side. I had a pretty fun night last night.
We're the broken antler, and you're the broken angel halo. I mean, is this appropriate for the holidays or what?
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
It's the end of the year. We've done a whole complete year again.
Can you believe it?
The end of our second year.
Wow.
Second
Amazing.
year. And of course, prior to our own show, we had another show, a local TV show, with two other ladies that we did a lot of alternative medicine on.
Right. That was another good one, too.
A great show, another 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 or maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this 4 or 5 years, you know.
Amazing.
We've had a good run. We've enjoyed every minute of it, haven't we?
I've loved it. It's been great. It's been great getting the information.
I'm sick of it. No, I'm just kidding. I've loved it. Is this not the cutest thing you've ever seen? Onea got this for my granddaughter last night, who loves pink. But you've just got to hear this little guy. What's it called?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to hear it.
I just love it. I could listen to it. I think you got this more for me than my granddaughter, because it just cheers you up the way it just talks.
It's just going to be a festive show. Nothing serious, nothing too heavy, nothing.
No, but I'd like for us to reminisce a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things we do want to talk about is the alignment.
Yes.
The winter solstice coming up.
Yes.
Okay, December 21st is the winter solstice. And this one is an extremely special one, okay?
Well, because it's the planets aligning.
Okay.
It's what they've been talking about forever in the Mayan calendars. It's what they've been talking about with any type of belief system about how the planets are going to line up, and that happens to be the day this year that it's gonna line up that way.
Right, and it's not just a belief system. I mean,
it's not a belief system,
it's a scientific fact.
Correct.
That I have to take my antlers off for a minute. This is kind of pinching my ear, so excuse me. Let me get into my natural habitat.
Well, if you're going to do that,
well, let's just take it off. Let's just take it all off. The scientific fact is that there's a planetary alignment that only happens close to every 6,000 years. It's the rotation. It's 5,000, blah, 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 100 years, so many 100 years. But it's real close to 6,000 years. We did a whole show on it, remember? And if anybody's interested, you can get all of our shows on YouTube.
Yes,
any
good
of
point.
the shows that anyone's missed that you're interested in.
And that's what I'm talking about.
That's it. Now, when we picked the title for our show and started having, our editor putting us on YouTube, we didn't realize at the time how many shows are out there with that title.
Yeah.
So you have to put in, that's what I'm talking about, and either Gertie or Onea or Gertie and Onea. And you'll get the right one and you can see them all. Okay. And the one we did on the winter solstice on the planetary alignment, it was really a good one.
That was a good one, only because we've been hearing a lot about it, and the buzz is, and people that not necessarily know much about the planets aligning, they're even getting curious about it and more interested in what is going to happen on December 21st, 2012.
2012, and we did a lot of research when we did our show. We had facts. We didn't just come
Right.
here and sit down and make things up.
Right.
We had facts because so many people still believe that it's the ending of the world. I mean, it's just hard for me to fathom that, how many people still think that something major is going to happen, you know, that's going to be the end of the world. And of course, with the political climate, the way it's been and what's going on out there in the world, people are afraid.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too, because if something does happen, we won't be here to say sorry that we were
Sorry,
wrong.
we missed that. We missed that little important fact that it really was the ending of the world. But the Mayan calendar ended on that day because the world really, as we know it, is going to start changing.
And that's something that we should really clarify, the way we've been taught, what we believe.
Right.
And it's like you said, it's just as we know it. It's just a reality that.
Just a minute. It just makes us laugh. So cute. Well, what changes is the vibration.
Right.
We've gone higher in energy. Everybody's going to get up on December 22nd and not feel any different and not notice any difference because we've been moving into this for years.
Right.
Since 1987, to be exact, that the evolution started on this planetary trip. Okay.
Well, I find it's interesting that we've all been being groomed on the power of thought. What you think about, you bring about, and then The Secret came out, and then there was more of a visual as to how that really works. And I think it's something like that. We're going to start manifesting things easier and faster in a vibrational way, in an energetic, sped up.
Manifesting, putting it out there in the ethers and seeing it manifest. So again, be careful what you think.
Correct, and mind your thoughts. And also be very conscious of the negative talk, because that manifests, and it's true. I mean, they've proven it scientifically that your negative thoughts can manifest illnesses.
On health, illness, you know, your surroundings, your well-beingness, all of that. But also, there is a difference in the frequency.
Yeah, right.
So if your own vibrations have not been brought up, and that's done very easily with just your thoughts.
Right.
But if your own vibrations aren't of a higher frequency to match the frequency in the universe a little bit better, we're seeing a lot more what we call just breakdowns, mental breakdowns, emotional breakdowns, people going postal.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
And the self-destruction.
And self-destruction. I just touched you. Do you remember when we first started the show? And we had so much fun, didn't we?
How far we have come.
How far we've come. We've grown. But I used to touch Onea a lot because I'm a toucher. So every few minutes I'd go, oh, yeah, okay, and touch her. And
then say how much she hates when people touch her.
I don't like to be touched, okay? I mean, I don't mind if I like you, but if I don't like you, I don't want you to touch me, okay? If I don't like you, I won't touch you either.
Right.
Okay? That kind of a thing. But my son, who was watching our show, first drew it to my attention how much I touch Onea. And he said, we should make a drinking game out of it, that every time I touched you, a little shot of something. So he and my daughter, my son and daughter, had a great time with that. And I haven't touched you like that for a while.
You really haven't.
We're going through memory lane.
Memory lane. Aww.
And we'll think of Sarek. When we first started our show, Sarek was
19, still is, but will be turning 20 this year. And he went into the Marines and is doing well in North Carolina, and it's,
he's a full-fledged Marine
now, serving our country. Thank you, Zarek.
And all the
and
other soldiers
else,
out there protecting us, and yes, thank you very much. But just think about that. He was just graduating from high school.
My baby.
You talked about how his grades were not so good, and then you cut his hair, and his grades started coming in.
The psychology of hair.
We did a whole show on it.
Psychology of hair and how you represent yourself and present yourself, how that has an effect on how you carry yourself. And gave him a haircut, and his whole life kind of turned around.
Yeah, his whole life changed. He got interested in wrestling and sports in school, did extremely well. But I remember you talking about your sister and how when she had this long hair, how aggressive she was.
She was real aggressive. She said, you know what, I'm afraid that Maury Povich or Jerry Springer is going to call me and say, you were a bully in high school.
Which we did our last show was done on bullying for anybody who's interested in that, because again, we brought out some interesting facts.
But let me clarify my sister.
Oh, please.
So she cut her she cut her hair real short, and she just became this little gentle lamb, and you just wouldn't even put her in those.
The same personality. So as a result of Onea, who's a hairstylist, but as a result of her talking about her son, the difference in his personality and her sister's, then we did an entire show on the psychology of hair.
Yes, we did.
It just kind of evolved in that. And from that, we started doing a thing on lipstick. Do you remember that? And my sister happened to be here in town visiting, actually, on one of her shows.
Yeah.
We had her do a shout out.
Yeah, if you had a real sharp angle, you had one personality. If you had a concave, you had one personality. If you had a flat top, it was a different personality. So it's amazing how our patterns and our habits really express
who we are.
Who we are, yeah.
Our personalities. So we came and had a whole bunch of lipsticks lined up with different heads on them, different shaped heads on them, and talked about the personalities. For anybody curious about that, you can pull that show up.
That's right.
And that was a fun thing to do, too.
That was fun.
We've talked about such things as the bad manners of cell phones, the cell phone users.
Cell phone etiquette.
Cell phone etiquette.
Standing in line and using your phone while you're trying to make an order.
And I've done that. I'm guilty of that. Yeah. I have done it, even though I think it's bad manners.
Or talking on the phone while you're at the table.
I've done that, but try not to. I'll only answer the phone if I feel it's an important call. But we did a whole show about that, and then, oh my gosh, we've done shows on death and dying, auras, chakras, spiritual evolution, like you said, the power of positive thinking.
I think it all, and I think we all kind of always wrap back around on the power of thought.
Because it's so important. One of our most fun shows, though, our earlier shows, where we had the clown, we opened up the show with our clown nose and clown costume on, because we did an entire show on phobias. And because
bizarre phobias.
Bizarre phobias. Yes. But I have one dealing with clowns. I have several, but that's one of them. I can't stand clowns, okay? Real phobia about it. So that's why we opened our show with the clown outfit and did our research on it. But the worst was the caca phobia. Do you remember that? I mean, we didn't even have to explain that because it's self-explanatory, cacophobia. But people who were afraid of trees.
Yes, trees, high heels.
High heels.
Bald heads.
I mean, there were so many bizarre phobias. Were there? I mean, just you name it, there's a phobia for it. But the cacophobia was, top of the list. Yeah, it just got us. What else have we talked about?
I don't know. It's been so long that
2 years.
2 years that
2 years.
We've covered quite a bit, and I think we've always been able to present something with a little food for thought and just create something for people to think about and maybe not be so narrow with their thinking. And so,
well, we've talked about limited thinking and how people really limit themselves. How we when I say people, we're included. We're not excluding ourselves. But the power of thought, yes, but limited thinking, how we put ourselves in these boxes. And we don't expand because mostly because of early indoctrination of somebody telling us we cannot do something. Or no. The word no. Do you know actually the word no does not register in the brain?
That's amazing.
That's why when little toddlers, little children are running around and you say, no, 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 it doesn't really register, doesn't compute. So you use a different word. But early indoctrination, kids are usually told, oh, you can't do that.
Right.
You know, you're not supposed to do that. You can't do that. You'll never become that. You know.
How stunting. And we all have done it.
Let me tell you something. This was amazing to me. We have not talked about that. But one year, a girlfriend and I backpacked Europe. And one of the places we were in was Greece. Okay. God, I'm not talking right here. I need my little fuzzy guy. Cheer me up. Anyway, in Athens, we noticed more so than anywhere else a lot of beggars.
Okay.
And almost all of them had an amputation of some kind, either the arm, the leg, you know, one or the other. And we were just stunned with this. We had not seen this anywhere else in Europe. So our hotel manager was British, so we were able to communicate. And we asked him, we said, has there been some kind of a, you know, disease or something that's happened here that caused this? And he said, no, actually they do it to themselves. If you're born into a family of beggars, then there is an injection that's given at one of the sites, arm, leg, wherever, so you will continue this family tradition.
Wow.
Wasn't that amazing?
I've never heard this
talked
story.
about it. Well, it's not anything that, you know, that it was memorable, but not in a good way.
Right.
Okay? But I've often thought about that. Those children were not given a choice.
Right.
And so when we talk about limitations, I mean, if you're a carpenter's son, you were trained to be a carpenter, you know, goes on and on. But this was like such an extreme. Now, I'll probably hear from a lot of Greek people that will tell me that that's not true. All I'm saying is that we saw a lot of it and that the hotel manager told us that that's what's done.
Wow.
But what an unfair way to start the world.
Well, and also that kind of ties into being a product of your environment, repeating your history, your family history. And we are able to change that, and we've also talked about how we can change our DNA.
Right, and that would be a show worth exploring again.
Yes.
Because there is a pattern of energy that we also talked about that Foster Gamble found, okay, from Procter and Gamble. And did years and years of research on this. But there's a pattern of energy in the universe that actually has been shown and keeps cropping up in crop circles in ancient Egypt, even way beyond, you know, the BC years, and like on the Kung Fu dogs, where they have their paws on top of this ball. It's the exact pattern.
Right,
Do you remember
yes.
that? I don't remember every word shows, but the main thing is it's in the universe that we can tap into.
That is fascinating.
Completely healing energy and a way for us to change our DNA.
Yeah, and there's so much out there that we couldn't even possibly tap into it in this lifetime.
But we have been able to, we've been able to bring a lot of this information to some of the people. And I have people come up and say, hey, I saw you in Onea, and that was interesting. And, you know, they started doing their own research. You know, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I get that a lot. And I didn't know you had a TV show. And I said, yeah, for the last 5 years.
Channel 13 is our local channel, and they've been very good and helpful to us to be able to do this.
Thank you. They've been, I'd like to thank them for ending out this year. They've been really good to us and
not just
helpful.
Well, they have been to us personally, but there are quite a few shows, local shows on, and they're helpful and kind to everyone that presents a local show, which is a unique thing for our area. Anybody who wants to do a show can do that, as long as, it's
meets the criteria.
It's respectful and not, vulgar in any way. Or political. I don't know about political. We've tried to stay away from that. Just our own thinking.
That's safe to do anyway.
Safe to do, But yes, it's a wonderful thing that our community has and does, and we're very grateful for it.
We are very grateful.
Actually, we won an award last year.
Yes, we did.
For our show. Not the big award, not the big one, but we got a recognition award. That was kind of nice.
I hate to toot my own horn, but beep, beep.
I just love when she does that. I do. It makes me laugh every time, like this little guy. But I won't turn it on again. I'm just glad you got it for Jaden.
Give it back to Jaden. It's not yours.
I'm taking it. I'm keeping it. It is too cute. Well, what else have we talked about we want to just kind of mention again?
I'm not sure, if what we've been doing is good. Just maybe some acknowledgments with the people, and I think we pretty much have covered
the gambit.
Yeah, pretty much everything that you can possibly think of, as you said, and
to plant seeds or just to have fun with or talk about. And we've changed our show a lot. Like I said, when we first started, we had a young college gal that was doing our editing. She was very good, and we started out with a laugh soundtrack.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We thought we were so funny.
Yeah, we thought,
but had no audience, so we had her put in this laugh soundtrack only for the first couple of shows, because we very quickly realized, no, we don't want a laugh soundtrack. No, we laugh enough ourselves.
Yeah.
Onea and I have just done this show because we've thoroughly enjoyed doing it, and hoping we would bring a little bit of information to someone that found it interesting. But we're going to have one heck of a New Year's Eve, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
What are you going to do?
This is going to be a great year of changes, a great year of goals, and really working on my thoughts and positive thinking, and sharing it with people.
Bringing it out there, and I'm kind of with you. I think my health is something that I need to become more responsible for. Okay, this takes self-responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm the worst eater. My diet is atrocious.
Well, we go out to lunch together, so I've got no room to talk.
Well, my two staples are bacon and chocolate.
Oh.
Not exactly the healthiest.
And now they're combining the two.
Oh, God, I know it. I know. Can you believe it? They have like deep fried chocolate this and wrapped in bacon, and they have ice cream that tastes like bacon. Now, who wants ice cream that tastes like bacon?
I've actually tasted it.
And how did it taste?
It's actually not bad.
Well, I may have to try it then. But no, I'm going to, I always make things, I make a New Year's goal list. I don't call them resolutions. I call them goals, okay? And I'll put things on there like become a better listener, be kinder or more tolerant.
Right.
And some personal goals. I'd like to still go to Spain. I have not been to Spain, someplace I've wanted to go. A lot of places.
I think you'll go there this year.
Do you think?
Next year, the 13,
Do you feel it in your bones?
I do feel it.
All right, sister. All right, I'm ready to
Gertie,
go.
I just want to thank you for being a sister to me and doing this
don't make
show
me cry.
with me.
Don't make me cry. Friends are so important, huh? Of course, you're one of my special friends, and I want to do a shout out. Do you mind?
No.
To my girlfriend Steve. We call her Stevie. Her name is Stephanie.
Okay.
And her whole life she went by Steve, and I just call her Stevie. But I want to do a special shout out to her because she's been a friend of mine since I was 15.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
And we've gone through our divorces together, and kids and grandkids.
That's a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're still friends. But she has a knack of knowing when I'm short on money and need money, and she'll send me, I'll open up, envelope, might be $50, might be $100, whatever she can spare. And she just did it again, sent me, a check when I needed new front brakes.
Power of thought. Power of thought.
But I called her to thank her and said, hey, I need new tires too. And she said, you're on your own, girlfriend. Okay. But you've been a good friend too. So for New Year's, let's celebrate like we always do. Let's get our lampshades on and go crazy. Where's your lampshade? Get your lampshade on. And let's do our New Year's toast. Happy New Year! And that's what we're talking about.